Hey everybody, it's Gauntlet X, and welcome to the early access event for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Thanks again to Wizards of the Coast for providing me with this promotional early access event entry. And let's get into things. This is a very exciting set. It is the newest set coming to Arena that will be the big draft format for the coming month here. It is similar to Spider-Man from last year in that it is a smaller set and it is primarily designed for the smaller pick two drafts, but this time around, the very big key difference is that we're going to be playing with the exact same cards on Arena as we would in paper. They're not changing any of the pictures or any of the card names or any of that confusing stuff that came with the Spider-Man set. So currently, I'm very optimistic about it. I would like to give it a fair shot, as that was my biggest complaint about the Spider-Man set. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and bust open these packs and play some of the brand new format. Honestly, every draft format is going to be pretty fun for the first few drafts at the very least. However, because it is a smaller set, I'm going to go into things completely blind rather than trying to research every single card before the early access event. That way the set has a little bit more longevity and it'll get stale a little less quickly than if I already knew every single card going into it. So we're going to have that blind pre-release experience for these early access drafts. All right, let's check out our first couple picks here. We've got a mythic rare Krang Utrom Warlord. I should note I've never seen any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so I don't know how to pronounce any of these cards, like Utrom Warlord or something. I might be saying that wrong, but this card looks really good. 9 mana is a whole lot, but you get a Flying Trample Indestructible Haste. You probably wipe your opponent out in one hit when you cast it. I don't know if there's going to be any good ramp deck in the set, any good cards that'll accelerate into a 9 mana card like that. There's also Donatello here, which is putting +1/+1 counters on himself every time that an artifact is entering the battlefield under your control. So this could be a really big flyer in an artifact-centric deck. So maybe we can do some blue artifact-based nonsense here to start us off. And again, since I haven't read any of the cards, we're going to keep things pretty simple for the first draft or two rather than trying to fully understand every single card in the pack. I'm sure I'm making some incorrect choices for sure, but we're going to learn as we go. Let's do some artifact nonsense here with those two. All right, blue-red is probably the artifact archetype, as Brilliance Unleashed here is a 6 mana sorcery that is going to bring an artifact back from our graveyard, and if it's a non-creature artifact, it is going to turn it into a 3/3 flyer. Being able to do both of these is really, really good. I mean, 6 mana, 5 to a creature, and reanimate something. That's a really good 2-for-1 removal spell plus a threat all in one. What do the henchbots do? Whenever they enter, exile a tapped creature an opponent controls until they leave the battlefield. Very nice. One of the Oblivion Ring style creatures. That's a temporary exile. I don't mind that at all. Buzzbot's also probably pretty good. 2 mana, 1/1 flying vigilance. Draw a card when it dies. Mouser Mark III, a little less exciting, just a 2 mana 2/3 that can only attack on occasion. There is a Manhole Missile for pretty efficient removal, but I'm going to go for the henchbots here and get really artifact-centric, and I'm happy we did. Here's a second copy of Brilliance Unleashed now. So what are the other options? Raphael, Most Attitude, 4 mana 4/3 Menace. Whenever another creature you control enters, you may exile a top card of your library, and whenever Raphael attacks, you can play those cards. Play one of those cards until end of turn. Seems all right. I might just take Manhole Missile over that, just take the really cheap removal. This also gives you some card selection. You can ditch an extra land in the late game to draw something else off the top of your deck, which is great. There's also Mouser Foundry. 2 mana, get a 1/1, 5 mana, sack it, deal 3 to something, get another 1/1. Okay, I'm actually going to take the Mouser Foundry. This seems just like really nice synergy for an artifact deck because by itself, that's 2 artifacts entering the battlefield when you cast it. So that's already 2 counters on Donatello just by casting it. And then later, you've got a kind of expensive removal spell, but it's an expensive removal spell that comes with yet another artifact entering the battlefield. So we got a Mountain Cycler here, which is fine. This other red card is fine. I think I'm just going to stick to blue-red here. It's going to be pretty hard to get me off of this color pair with 2 copies of Brilliance Unleashed, especially when I don't know what the other cards do yet. Ooh, I think we actually want the purple dragon punks here to give us some artifact mana, make it a little bit easier to potentially cast that 9 mana artifact finisher. I am really happy to be in this color pair. We've got another manhole missile coming really late in this draft out of the last 4 cards. Omni Cheese Pizza's probably pretty decent too, but we'll take the Mouser and make sure we've got as many creatures as we need. Baxter Stockman. 5 mana, 3/3/1 Baxter Stockman enters, create a 1/1 colorless robot artifact creature token. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target artifact creature control gets +2/+0, gains first strike and vigilance. Sure. So by himself, 5 mana, 3/3, plus a 1/1 that attacks as a 4/3 first strike vigilance every turn. Pretty sick. There's also a Mouser Foundry, which is good, but Weathermaker is interesting too. For every 3 lands you play, you get to deal 3 to any target. That might be a little too slow for draft, but the thing is, it's always going to be a mana rock. It's always going to at least give us 1 mana of any color each turn, and we do have a big 9-drop as well as a couple 6 mana plays. I think Weathermaker is going to be more than worth it, actually. Just spend several turns just getting 1 mana out of it, but eventually just a single deal 3 after getting all that mana is going to be quite valuable. So we'll take a Baxter and a Weathermaker. We got a Ravenous Robots passed to us. 1 in a red. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless robot artifact creature token. I feel like I'm going to have a lot of fun with this set in the first couple weeks, and I'm probably going to draft way too many artifacts because I have loved artifact decks ever since I first started playing. Back in Shards of Alara, the Esper artifact stuff was really cool. And as soon as I started playing EDH, I also played like Arkham Dags and artifact nonsense. So this stuff is right up my alley. This blue-red archetype. Ooh, this Mechanized Ninja Cavalry is actually pretty good in blue-red too. 2 1/1s for 2, and they're both artifacts. It's pretty interesting. There's a lot of really good artifact options in this pack. There's even like a double strike equipment. But I'll just have a bunch of removal. We'll get another Mouser Foundry. Raphael the Night Watcher. This is a really cool mechanic in this set. So Ninjutsu's back, but it is not called Ninjutsu anymore. It is Sneak, which is essentially Ninjutsu, but it is fixed to where you can also sneak in spells. They don't have to be creatures. I guess I shouldn't say fixed. It's changed to where now you can also cast spells for cheap. Probably don't want anything else out of that pack, so I'll actually speculate on this red-white card. I don't even know what it does, but it's probably good. It's a Signpost uncommon. Nobody. 2 hybrid blue-red and 1, so super castable for us. A 3/2, when it enters, return up to 1 other artifact control to its hand and scry 1. That's actually really good with Mouser Foundries. I'm sure there's other really good combos with it. Currently, we don't have much else, but hey. I'm not reading fast enough, so we missed a pick there. So let's just click on 2 on-color cards first before I start reading things. Here's another Mouser Foundry, and this one is target artifact or creature becomes an artifact creature with base power 4/5. Draw a card. This is literally the exact same card that was in Kamigawa. That's quite a good combat trick, so I imagine it's still good here. This set does have a lot of similarities to Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. It might feel like Kamigawa Neon Dynasty Light, because Kamigawa Neon Dynasty had a blue-red artifact archetype in it, and it had the ninjutsu ability. So there's a lot of similar stuff. Here we have classes instead of sagas, but still. I don't think I want to splash in a 3rd color on my very first draft, so let's just take some on-color stuff. Another Mind Transfer Protocol. The 4/5. It was called Suit Up in Kamigawa, where you would turn something into a 4/5 out of nowhere. This is like a deceptively good card, because sometimes you just, oops, my artifact, my non-creature artifact is a 4/5 and eats your creature. Like, it's really hard for your opponent to play around that. At least early during the set, before they've played it against it too many times. Take the Little Legend, Raphael. Ooh, here's an artifact, rare. Whenever a creature control with a +1/+1 counter leaves the battlefield, put a counter on this, and then you can exile a card from a grave to create a mutagen. Or from any grave to create a mutagen. Yeah, so put like a +1/+1 counter every turn with those tokens. That's putting more artifacts onto the board too, which is huge. Bespoke Bow. When this equipment enters, return up to one other non-land permanent to its owner's hand. And it's a +2/+1 equipment. That seems okay. Whenever creature enters, get flying, menace, or haste. Buff the board every time it attacks. Looks like everything else is mostly okay. I'll take the bespoke thing here over the buzzbots. Okay, now we've got another purple dragon punks I definitely want, and we'll highlight Casey for now. 2 mana, 2/1 haste. When Casey Jones enters, look at the top 4 cards of the library and reveal an artifact from among them. Put it into your hand. Perfect. Return to the Sewers does look like reasonable removal. I accidentally passed one of these for a white spell earlier because I didn't click fast enough. This would have been a good card for our deck, but I don't think I'm taking it over these two. We got a lot of red burn spells for removal. Here's another deal 6. This is deal 6 and exile it, so I can kill some big stuff. Also, 5 mana 4/4. Create a 2/2 during combat, give it haste destroyed in the end step. Seems alright. Could get a mutagen token off this slithering cryptid thing. Just out of blue. That's another artifact on the board. Alright, and I suppose it's about time to build this deck. One more pick to go. These pick 2 drafts do go quite fast, which is the big upside here. Can draft a deck really quickly, and then if they do that quick draft style, 4 wins or 2 losses prize out structure, then the gameplay themselves works, or goes pretty quickly too, so you can get to the next draft nice and quick. Oh, they fixed the thing. Yeah, it sorts them right now. So we're going to cut 12 cards out of here. Let's do it nice and basic. Just go like 17 creatures, 6 spells, kind of the standard, like 15 to 17 creatures. So we can cut at least 4 creatures right off the bat, more if we want to. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2-mana creatures. But I also have 3 Mouse or Foundry, counting as more 1/1. So I think I'm going to cut the one like non-artifact synergistic 2-drop. And 3 mana. Probably drop Mutant Town Musicians. Null Group Biological Assets. Some EPF Point Squads. 4 mana. I'm just going to cut the Neutrino Splash, keep things simple. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 creatures, and 3 Mouse or Foundry is like 17 creatures. Perfect. Let's cut 5 non-creature cards. Hard to run the combat tricky and equipment-y stuff over pieces of interaction, especially with Mind Transfer Protocols is really good. Combat tricky cards. I feel like Brilliance Unleashed is going to be just awesome in this deck. One of the things that we could do is actually go back to the drawing board and actually put back in some of those cards that let us discard a card to draw a card, so that on the off chance we could discard Krang and then reanimate Krang with the Brilliance Unleashed. It's a very fun idea. So let me look through and see if we have any discard currently in the deck, and if there's any discard to add in. Now's a good time to mention this video is going to be almost entirely unedited, so that I can get to recording the next one ASAP, and I can get this all up to you as quickly as possible. But the next 6 videos, all the other early access drafts, will be back to the normal editing style. Cut out all the downtime between games and everything. Here I'm probably just going to do the Patreon shout out in the end. I don't know if we have enough discard to really justify trying to do that Krang thing. I mean, I'm going to put in 1 card that lets me discard a card. I guess I might as well over Zog. Because, like, even if I'm not trying to discard and reanimate, I am going to run 2 Brilliance Unleashed no matter what. I'm going to run Krang no matter what. I probably shouldn't run Krang, but I am who I am. 3 cuts now. Maybe triple foundry's a little high. We'll drop one of those. Something like this might be okay. I feel like this bow is actually probably pretty good, though. Let's go one protocol, one bow. Cut the cryptid. Call it a deck here. Let's just get into the gameplay ASAP. So you can all check out the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles draft format ASAP on the channel. All right, here we are for our very first game of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is a very solid hand to start us off. Casey Jones turn 2, bounce spell on turn 3, or the combat trick. They do have the 3 toughness blocker immediately, which is sad. But we get our enter trigger and no artifact in the top 4 is disappointing. Mono red so far from our opponent. There's Raph and Leo. Whenever they attack, if it's the first combat phase of the turn, untap 1 or 2 other attacking creatures and get an additional combat phase. So they can't untap themselves. So that's fine. We can just send in kill Mouser Mark III. Or if they don't block, we just bow back the Raph and Leo. Raph and Leo is back. There's Manhole Missile, but that has 4 toughness. 3 to equip here. I don't think I really want to equip. Let's just hold up the trick to eat somebody and draw a card towards Brilliance Unleashed. Drawing the card because we've only got one more land in our hand, so we really need to look through our deck as many cards as we can to make sure that we're hitting every land drop to play this as quickly as possible. So drawing the extra card is super valuable, even if killing the 2/3 is not that exciting. And then there is another mana for us. Not the perfect mana. So I could go Punks and Ooze and pass. Okay, and I can use the Ooze at instant speed. Oh, they can untap themselves. It doesn't say other. Untap 1 or 2 target attacking creatures. So they basically got vigilance there anyway. So that was probably the oops. Give me a mutagen. There's Raphael. I'm at 5 out of 6 mana that I need. Let's play a Mouser Foundry and hold up the Manhole Missile. Spread out these counters, because I'll have plenty of ooze to go around. Mouser Foundry's back for another 1/1 for our opponent. There's their purple dragon punks. And they pass through. Okay. I don't mind bolting the bird here, shooting the mana, and ditching the uncommon Raphael, trying to find a land. We've got the land, so we are... Oh wait, this isn't mana for Brilliance Unleashed, it's artifact mana only. Shame. Okay, but we did draw the land we need for Unleashed next turn. What if I just drop Raphael? Just start going double strike mode. All right, trade with Ralph and Leo. Or Raph and Leo. See, I'm even going to get Raphael's name wrong. That's how little I know about the turtles. No, spicy oatmeal pizza. There goes our Raphael. Okay. No artifacts in grave yet, so we certainly want to crack the Mouser Foundry first. Get our token. Actually, mutagen up the punks. Exile their rare. And send in a 4/4 that they can't kill. And then now these can both attack. Any turn I don't need the punk's mana. There's nobody. Ooh, they are a 2-color deck. Red-black from our opponent. Spicy oatmeal pizza just lets them gain their life back later. But they can pick it up with nobody and shoot something else again, which is pretty good. Another Mouser Foundry. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty sick. I don't need to Brilliance Unleash then. There's the concession from our opponent. Really, really strong stuff from the deck. We're 1-0 heading into game number 2 now. So used to editing timeout that I wanted to give the spiel before I started hopping into the queue for the next game, but I should really be talking during the queue, as we're going to be leaving that queue time in. Yeah, that was pretty fun. I mean, our opponent was stuck on mana the whole time, since we did see that they were playing a black deck, so pretty much just kind of a lucky game there in general. But did some pretty great stuff with our little artifacts. All right, here we are on the play for game number 2. We've got the null group biological assets. If we draw our 9-mana artifact, we can discard it and try to reanimate it, which would be super fun. Blue-red mirror match, and probably the best draw in our deck. Purple Dragon Punks to play on turn 2. Start adding mana for all these artifacts in our hand. Return up to one other artifact creature controls with its owner's hand and scry one. So we just play a 3/2 and scry one then. Or we could run out the biological assets. I'm actually going to run out the biological assets in case we do draw something great to discard for Brilliance Unleashed. Bespoke Bow, bounce the assets. And we'll just play it again here. Mind Transfer Protocol is the draw, that's fine. I could play a 3-drop and a 2-drop if I play an artifact, but none of my cards align like that, so we'll get our damage. Slithering Cryptid, a 2/3 and a mutagen token. That can put a +1/+1 counter on their board, so they could just have a 3/4 here. They're going to have a 3/4, which still dies to the Mind Transfer Protocol. I don't mind discarding Ravenous Robots, do I? Whenever you cast an artifact, get a 1/1. Yeah, no, I should probably not discard it. What if I discard Hench Bots because I'm on the aggressive? So tapped creatures are not going to happen super often. I'm trying to find a way to mind transfer protocol here, but I think robots into nobody is fine. And just hold off for the turn. Find Donatello. Well, mildly tragic. Donatello would have been so good right before that. Oh dear. When this enters, if you cast it, you may put a card you own from outside the game into your hand. So 5 mana, 5/5, draw the best card in their sideboard, and they could have specifically left something pretty good in there to get picked up by that. Yep, that is pretty bad for me, but well, they've got the Bespoke Bow. Bespoke Bow is really good against the henchbots here. I probably should have scried this Donatello away, because I think I might be attacking with everybody and discarding Donatello here. Digging for Brilliance Unleashed mana. One of our creatures dies to Northwind Avatar, everybody else lives or kills Cryptid. Okay. This is super reasonable for us. Almost as good as it could have gone. Our own Bespoke Bow, but we don't really want to bounce that Avatar. They draw another card off it. Green source from our opponent. Turtle Blimp. It's an incredible card name. 3/4 flyer. They can crew for 2, and they get the 2/2 they need to crew it. If I Bespoke Bow the token. They'll have to tap out to replay the Avatar, and then I kill the Avatar next turn. I feel like it's okay to bow their Avatar here. I guess whatever I bow, they can then crew the Blimp. Regardless. Just not lovely. Yeah, I'm just not really pushing damage well here. If I bow the Avatar, I can equip it to the assets and attack with a 4/4 first strike. Or no, a 5 power first strike. Yeah, and then they won't have a block if I hit the Avatar, but if I hit this, they'll still have a double block, but then I'd eat the Avatar. You know what? I'm going to hit the token. If they want to double block and lose the Avatar, that should be fine. Take the 5. Unfortunately, this is only 5 to a creature. That would be incredibly good if you could also Lava Axe your opponent's face with these. Shoot them for 5. Your opponent just dies of your brilliance. Michelangelo, Game Master. Beginning of your end step, if a permanent left the battlefield under your control this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on him, and he's a 3/3. Alright, so they're just playing a bunch of blockers. No, the 6th toughness from the mutagen, though. We can't unleash brilliance on the avatar. Okay, so they have 3 blockers. Even if we kill a creature, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attackers. We hit them for at least 3 damage. 3 is not lethal. Casey Jones would make it lethal if I had 1 more mana to play both of these. Slightly unfortunate. I think I'm casting Casey Jones here, trying to find an artifact for Ravenous Robots. The plan here is going to be just going wide enough to kill them. We find 4 lands all in one clump. Might edit the deck a little bit between rounds and double check what the artifact count is exactly. We do have almost everything that synergizes with artifacts, but that doesn't mean the spells themselves are artifacts for Casey Jones. Alright, yeah, they get a turn here to chill. Because they go block, block, block. Wait, no, this is lethal. Block the 5, block the 3, block the 2, take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was wrong, it's still lethal. They're tapped out too. Yeah, because I didn't need the removal to put them to 3 blockers total. They're at 3 blockers total either way. Drew Baxter Stockman here. Baxter's actually going to be really good in this deck, I think, with the amount of little artifact tokens we're producing as well. Just to have a 1/1 sitting around. All right, 2-0. Halfway towards the trophy, undefeated so far. I mean, these pick 2 drafts are pretty short, so it's not saying too much to be undefeated halfway to the trophy, but it's still an exciting feeling. We are 2-0, heading into game 3, taking a slight detour to check what our artifact count is and see if it's going to be worth changing any of our more filler non-artifact cards. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 1 out of 4. So on average, this hits slightly more often than not. But what are the worst non-artifacts? Maybe that Null Group card. Maybe this more expensive Raphael. This deck's been pretty low curve pretty quick until the Brilliance Unleashed. Let's drop the more expensive Raphael, put another artifact in here, put the Mouser Foundry in again. Alright, 11 artifacts. Call it a deck there, hop back in for game number 3. Fingers crossed, number game 3 out of 4. Get a full undefeated run to start us off. All right, here we are on the draw now for game number 3. Not a bad hand at all. Got a Mouser, and then we bounce something, and the Mouser will be able to attack forever because of that. Also an Ooze to start getting mutagens all over the place. Our opponent's on black-white with the Foot Headquarters. Black, white, and red, there's their Mouser Foundry. So we can go ahead and bounce the token itself here. Although they do play a purple Dragon Punks, I feel like the tempo is worth it on a mana dork like that to bounce the dork instead of the token. Slow them down. Probably play Bot Bashing Time next turn. Then play 5 mana worth of spells on turn 5. This is a sorcery, but if they want to double block, that's better for us. They already have a 5-mana ability to kill our creature on the board, so we know they have at least one thing that killing the mana is good. Is good at stopping. Okay. If I just throw the bow onto the Mouser here, it's out of reach of Mouser Foundry, and then I can also play the Ooze for the turn. No need to combat trick right now. Creature's already well bigger than everything else. I can do that at instant speed. I just can't sack the mutagen at instant speed. But I can make it at instant speed, so we wait till their end step and then exile our bot bashing time. Base power and toughness 4/5. So that'll be 6 base toughness. There's our own Mouser Foundry, which I don't quite have the mana to fully use here. I should have done that. I forgot to use this during their end step. That's an oops for sure. I missed out on a mutagen token, because there's definitely going to be something else in a graveyard here. Artifact, enchantment, or creature with power 4 or greater. Rough. There's no way to dodge that. Oh, actually, no, there was a really clever play that I missed. That would have been so cool. If I played the Mind Transfer Protocol on the bow, it would have fallen off. That would have been actually very good for me. I really should have done that. I'm sad that I... Oh, wait, no, it's target artifact. What am I talking about? If it was specifically a non-artifact creature with power 4 that they were using that on, then we could have done something about it. Let's just kill the punks. Have a 2 toughness creature against their 1 power creatures. Anchovy and Banana Pizza destroy our 1/1. Perfect. Ravenous Robots. Into nobody picking up the bow. Into bow. Wait, and then I could play bow picking up nobody and nobody picking up bow and bow picking up nobody? Oh my god, this is actually... It's not like fast infinite, it's slow infinite. But they can loop together like forever. And it's playing an artifact every time I do it, so it's another 1/1 with the Ravenous Robots. Dawn and Leo lets them flicker one of their cards every turn, which is incredibly good with the Anchovy and Banana Pizza. Because they get to blow up another one of our cards every turn. Yeah, that's super good. So they stop the combo, they hit the Ravenous Robots. Which means at that point, Bo, Dawn, and Leo, and then sneak in Raphael. Force them to spend their mana recasting it at that rate. Chance they die here. If they don't block anybody. Double block nobody. Okay, then I'm going to play Mind Transfer Protocol, I think. I mean, I could sneak, but I lose the token. Yeah, either way is pretty fine. Draw Brilliance Unleashed, which is a really good one. Don and Leo have 6 toughness, though. Oh my god, and then Dawn and Wrath. Whenever they attack, the next non-creature spell you cast has affinity for artifact. Okay, that doesn't matter. That's just a 2/4. 2/4 menace. Brilliance Unleashed, pick up Mouser Foundry. Kill Dawn and Wrath. There are a lot of options here, actually. So I could pick up Nobody and pick up the bow. I won't have the mana to recast the bow immediately. One more mana and that'd be so good. I think I just get a free kill here and then let them kill Wrath. Because, yeah, they kill Wrath, but then they still have to deal with a 7/6. Oh my god, not if they had a second anchovy banana pizza. Okay. That's bad. Four, five, six, seven, 8 mana. If I hit 11 mana, I can reanimate Mouser Foundry and shoot that. I don't think I have anything that can single-handedly shoot them. If I hit Henchbots, no, but they've got Vigilance through the Henchbots. If we hit Weathermaker, but that takes forever. Manhole Missile's an out. So how do I make that happen? I think I have to just pass, because anything I play just dies. Unless I play Brilliance Unleashed. In which case it's still not going to be enough here anyway. So yeah, I have to just pass from this point. Dawn and Leo anchovy and banana pizza is disgusting. Two creatures off one card. I've got enough stuff that because they only blow up a 1 card a turn, if I can play 3 creatures in one turn, that does matter. Mouser Mark III for another blocker. Anchovy Banana Pizza popping off. What is the best play going to be here? Just throwing a bunch of mutagen tokens onto one of these and then sending? It's going to be Krang soon. 1 mana from Krang. First Strike and Vigilance? I feel like I just suit up this robot. Actually get to attack with both of them here if they don't have instant speed removal. Just need 6 power on each. It's giving +3, so this just needs 3 power total. Chump there takes 6. That is 1 shot dead to Krang. If we don't die before then. But we're only 1 land from Krang. I guess they can sack the other pizza as well, but then their pizza combo's gone. But if they do sack the other pizza, then Krang is not a 1-shot kill. Draw 2, lose 2. Go to 6. 6 is essentially 9 after eating the pizza, so Krang is once again a 1-shot kill. Manhole Missile Baxter, so they're going to double removal Baxter. And then flicker the pizza to kill the token. So it's all in here. Top deck land. I was going to say a plains for some reason. We are not a white deck. Okay, double Manhole Missile it is. Come on, top deck. 1 land, baby. And I don't even have to do it immediately, because they can only gain the 3 1 time. So if it's within the next couple turns, we'll still win. Because I can take a hit or 2 from Dawn and Leo. Ayo, Krang. Boop. Thank you, Krang. Very cool. Saving us. That was a spicy way to end it off. We are 3-0 heading into game number 4. All right. Game number 4, Blue-Red Mirror Magic. And everybody loves this Blue-Red Artifacts deck. It is so fun. We just start with Ravenous Robots, see if they've got the cheap removal for it, and hope they don't. Could have started with Purple Dragon Punks and then tried to double Artifact here, but I want to get my triggers, and now I can play Bow this turn anyway, and then these 2 on turn 4. Donatello's Technique. Sneak to draw 2 cards there. Now they can recast that, get a couple 1/1s. That's what I'm talking about, the flexibility on Sneak being able to pick up creatures for your non-creature spells too, not just creatures for creatures like ninjutsu. Okay, so they do kill our rare things, so we'll just send out the biological assets. No blocks. Donatello Turtle Techie. 3/4 and they draw a card if they control an artifact. Okay. Not a card I really want to bounce, but at the same time I can't attack if I don't bounce it. That's okay, I've got 4 mana worth of stuff to do. Can run all that out. And Foundry is an instant speed sack effect, so Foundry plus a first striker and I like the null group biological assets could be pretty good here. Sure. Take 3. I was expecting a sneak there, pick it up and then like recast later to draw another card, but if it's just 3 damage, I'm really happy to just take 3. Buzzbots. Mouser Foundry. Baxter Stockman. Is that going to be the play here? 4/1 first strike on attacks here. Yeah, and then I sent in the null group thing as well. Draw a card, discarding this island. Yeah, this is a very good board state for me. This is absolutely the play. If they want to trade 2 creatures into purple dragon punks, that's not that bad either. It's not great, though. Yeah, I will not do that. So next turn, they might spend the turn just blowing up Baxter. And we still have the null group attacks, and I can suit somebody up with the bow. They play the Ninja Cavalry, so they're not blowing up Baxter with Mouser Foundry, at least. Henchbots to exile the first striker till it dies. Could Mouser Foundry the Henchbots. Which is not bad. Take 4, go to 11. There's Brilliance Unleashed for me on Ravenous Robots. It's okay. I think I'm going to save it in case they play something better, because Mouser Foundry on Henchbots is already pretty dang good. Do this while they're tapped out. Could also try to do it later, like in response to them attacking, and hope that they don't notice it, but I think that seems unnecessarily risky, because they could have their own turn something into a 4/5 draw a card kind of spell once their mana's untapped. That would essentially counter the removal. Alright, they are finally going to pop the Mouser Foundry on Baxter Stockman, which is unfortunately not an artifact. He is a human man, so we can't reanimate him. Now we can go Brilliance Unleashed on Donatello. And robots or Mouser Foundry. Pick the Ravenous robots here. But at this point, the Mouser Foundry honestly might be better. Just because the 3/3 flying body you get off of it. Instead of just a bunch of 1/1s on the ground. Then I could bespoke bow back their buzzbots. Hit them for like 5 in the sky with no flying blockers over there. Krang draws a bunch of cards when he enters and is just very high power. That's actually fine, because we can just block Krang with a bunch of stuff. So that is not that bad for me. I don't really want to bounce Krang, because then they draw more cards, and I have plenty of blockers for Krang. So we bounce Buzzbots or a token. The bow cannot bounce itself, but it can bounce our other cards. We get poked by the Buzzbots here. They blow up the Ravenous robots and get another 1/1. We find a land. 8 out of 9 mana if I top deck our own Krang. But also they have 7 blockers. We have 7, 8, 9 attackers. What if I just attack with everybody in Mouser Foundry here? I don't know. I should probably just bow up the first striker. That just makes the most sense. If they don't have removal. Tap or untap target creature. Man. Tragic. Okay, I'm going to hold this land. I could discard to the null group later. If I blow up one of their creatures and attack with everybody, they have 4, 5, 6, 7 blockers. 7, 8 attackers. Yeah, definitely not yet. Maybe after I activate this Mouser Foundry, to where I have another non-summoning sick 1/1 instead of a summoning sick 1/1 like I would have this turn. Another Donatello to draw another card and give them another 4 toughness blocker, which is a big deal. Alright, I'm going to finally pop this flyer and stop taking damage every turn. If there's any kind of spell in this set that lets you like give the whole board +2/+0 or something, feels like these artifact-centric decks can get very token-heavy too. Oh, that happens when it becomes sacrificed too? Okay, Surveillance Cam is really good. It's a lot better than it looks. 7, 9, 2 creatures hit. No. This might be another game we're just all in on drawing Krang. We're halfway through the deck now. Can you eat this pizza? Yep. Haven't been playing with the board. And I also haven't been listening. What is the turtle music? Let's find out. Nothing right now. Okay. They flicker their turtle to draw another card and blow up one of our cards, which is the first record. They send in Krang so they can whittle down our board here. Got it. Yep. They've drawn a lot more cards than us, so we are definitely all in on drawing our Mythic Krang. Weathermaker is not it, but it's not nothing. Oh, here we go. Music's kicking in now. Oh my god, another one? Another destroy a creature, draw a card with Go Ninja Go. That's nice. That's pretty fitting. Yep, Raphael's gonna draw them another card off this attack. I essentially have one last draw step to hope for Krang at this point. That is just some flood. The undefeated run was not to be. We're gonna have to get one more victory here to get the trophy. 3-1 it is. Heading into game number 5, whenever our opponent flunges everybody in here. Yep, they found a Brilliance Unleashed as well. All right. 3-1 heading into the final battle no matter what. If we win this game, that's a trophy run. If we lose, still a positive record at 3-2. But either way, the final game of Magic for today as we head into game number 5. We just lost that game, so we could play as many games of TMNT as possible. If we won, we only would have played 4 games today. Now we get to play 5. Alright, playing against the black deck here. Turn 1, 1/1 flyer. We lose 1, they gain 1, and they scry 1. That is very good for sneak decks, for ninjutsu strategies. Yeah, that just seems like an incredible sneak card. So I'm already very scared being on the draw against this. But our hand is quite defensive here. Hench bots for removal and a creature, bot bashing time for removal, and then Brilliance Unleashed for removal and a creature again. There's Michelangelo turn 3. Our purple dragon punks off curve. So we're taking a lot of damage here. 4 damage turn 3 for us. Go to 14. And then a Leatherhead Swamp Stalker, 4 mana 5/4 hexproof trample. And then if they remove hexproof, they get to just blow up the ooze. They get a massive 2-for-1 if they remove the hexproof. And if they don't remove the hexproof, I'm dying to a 5/4. Awful. If I hench bots, then Leatherhead can blow up the hench bots. But hench bots still slows them down and then is an artifact engraved for Brilliance Unleashed. But I'm at 4 out of 6 mana for Brilliance Unleashed. It could go really bad if I play henchbots. Because then just 1 removal spell on either of these and this just hits me and kills henchbots for free still. I feel like I have to bot bashing time first. Yeah, that hexproof is really, really gnarly on Leatherhead. If it weren't for hexproof, that turn was 100% bot bash the Leatherhead before it blows up one of our artifacts. If it was like a 5/4 with a trample counter that you can remove to blow something up instead, anything like that. Get a mutagen while I still can. They could just keep the hexproof, that's the other part. Just a big old hexproof trampler is already enough to win a lot of games. But they are going to go ahead and blow up the ooze. Bebop for a giant 5/4 menace. We are a turn away from Brilliance Unleashed if I hit a land. So I have got to hit a land this time to stand a chance. If we double block Bebop, we are giving them back a hexproofer. But if I don't block, I'm going to 2 life and dying to any sneak card on Dream Beavers. If I do this, they get back Leatherhead and they just have lands in hand. I could play like Baxter and still block. I feel like there's more things that can go wrong by blocking than by not. If I die to a sneak, I die to a sneak. Yeah, fair enough. Foot Ninjas gets me either way. Because if I do double block Bebop, they still foot ninjas me down to 3 life. A recast of the Dream Beavers puts me to 2. I'm at 2 life against foot ninjas, Dream Beavers, and Leatherhead with hexproof. Even if I hit the land for Brilliance Unleashed, there's no way I'm surviving that. I think we probably would have stood a solid chance if 2 things happen. If we were on the play and the top card is a land. I don't know what the top card is, but if we were on the play first, we have this on the defensive too. We're getting our blockers down a turn earlier. We could probably survive long enough for the Brilliance Unleashed to try to turn it around. But it had been a tight game. Certainly unwinnable on the draw, unfortunately. So 3-2, close to greatness, still a decent run. For our first draft of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I still had a very fun time with it. This deck was really cool. A lot of the decks we were playing against were really cool. We did play against a lot of artifact stuff, but the Flicker Leonardo with the pizza that destroys something every time it enters was really gross. That was some cool Flicker stuff going on there. And then that final deck as well, just some green, black beat down was nice too. So yeah, positive feelings about the set so far for sure. Even if it is a smaller set with less archetypes, if the mechanics and archetypes are fun to play, fun to draft, it could still be a good time, and I love me some artifact stuff, so I think I'll have a pretty solid time with the set for at least a week or 2 here starting off. So yeah, cool stuff. Excited to get into more, but as for now, that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video, and as well as Wizards of the Coast for allowing me to play in this promotional early access events. If you're interested in seeing some more videos like this, as always, you can like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.